I had a little 4-track Sony sound on sound tape recorder.
Yeah.
Kids, they used to have tape. And Andrew said, "Hey, man, can I borrow that for a minute? You mind if I play around?" And you're down in our little basement. He came upstairs about 3 hours later and had an entire recording. I think it was like, "I Want to Hold Your Hand," all the parts.
Oh,
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is before he had done all that cool stuff on "When Will I Be Loved" and what was it? Da da da. You're No Good. All that amazing.
Boy, he had that harmony, all that stuff down.
Man, he was such a great guitar player and great. He and Kenny Edwards, their singing
Yeah.
with Linda was really
Great
tremendous.
ears, man.
Anyway,
About you guys, you ever do anything together?
Gosh, yeah, we've done a few things. Not so much early on, but last few years we did a song. I did an album called Guitar Laboratory, and Ryan came out. I had Ryan come out, and we wrote it together and recorded it, and
cool.
it was fun. I mean, gosh, I don't know if we could do it, but
Yeah, I don't know about that. It's
I don't
kind of
know.
more of like a
It's
Jeff
kind
Beck
of a-
rock and roll
it's a-
electric
yeah,
guitar
it-
thing.
You
it's
guys want
kind
to play a piece of that, or you want to play something else?
what can we
Play something.
You just play something and I'll just follow along.
That's the sun line right there. You just do something. And
No, I mean, I'll
do
do
something.
something.
singing pig.
Yeah.
Let's see, what can I do? Yeah.
What were we doing earlier?
Oh, I was doing that.
Yeah, I could.
And we're just showing off.
That's how I always feel.
Yeah, just play it.
When did you notice he could see? When did you notice he could play? When did you think, oh my gosh, he's going to do this?
You know what? I had to early on. I just knew he had. I was one of those dads that wanted to be like my dad. My dad never once put a guitar in my hand and said, "Here, play this.
Right.
You're
They
going
bought
to
me
be a
drums.
Yeah.
Excuse me." But yeah, I was early on. I was trying to be Ringo Starr or something. I wanted to play drums.
I mean, you
early.
guys got me a drum set way before a guitar.
Oh, see, I don't remember that.
I think
That
Mom
must
was
have
like,
been-
"Let's not
That
force
must have
it."
been Karen.
She was like, "Let's not force it."
That was my
I would never buy my
instrument.
I
Can be a
couldn't play it at
drummer?
all.
Are
Couldn't
you
play it.
kidding me?
Jamie was a drummer too.
Serious?
I couldn't play
well,
it,
kids
though.
like drums.
I
Did
just
you
wanted to-
encourage it? Because I know with my kids, it's like, man, this is a tough life, and I don't know if
I
I'd
know-
want
no,
everybody
I
throwing
never-
rocks
I-
at them.
No,
You know what he used to always
you're talking
do?
about like making a living though, because when Jamie started actually thinking about like what am I going to do, I said, well, I hope you go to school first. Because,
Exactly, yeah.
and he did. Thank you. But
I don't know if you ever said that.
you're welcome.
I felt like it was my duty to finish school.
I don't
since
think. I think. I, would,
Ryan had a guy. He looked at me just now. and said, "I don't think you ever said that."
I think you said, "Go for your mom." I don't really care.
But the answer to your question is, yeah, I saw early on that he had natural talent, and some ability. He was playing out as a really little kid. He was putting notes together and playing chords, and it's like, man, I'm not. If he had wanted to do anything in the world, would have been fine with me, other than
Yeah.
guitar. But
So you didn't encourage it.
not at all.
Yeah.
No,
never
but
did.
one thing
Yeah.
you would do though is always, it was funny. You definitely got a kick out of it. I would like be in my room, again, electric guitar. I'm playing, full blast, trying to learn some Van Halen thing, and he would be like, he would come in the door and like pretend to be really mad and go, "Hey, turn that up." I was waiting to go,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you turn that up?
Mine were always super encouraging too. So how old was he when you started to notice? Like, was it an obvious thing?
Well, actually, I think I noticed it first more on the drums because he had this sense of, and he would come to our shows and study Jimmy
Sit behind
Fadden.
Jimmy.
Sit behind Jimmy on the drum riser,
yeah.
which Sean did later, actually. Yeah, and he was all about the drums, and he got into his jazz band, I guess, when you were in high school or junior high?
Yeah, I did snare drum in 5th grade, and then I went into concert band and jazz band and marching band. That was rough.
And you
bit.
could read and everything too.
I
but
read,
yeah.
used to read.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
if I spent time, I could
All the
probably
big
get it
words
back.
too.
The big ones.
The big ones.
Yeah.
But he could. But, he,
Mezzo
al-
forte.
but also, like when he got into guitar, and I'm like, oh, this is great because Jamie's got all this.
Well, it was
you know,
all because of Crossroads. You had taped Crossroads on a
the
VHS.
classics.
the movie Crossroads.
The
I
movie
could get
Crossroads.
mistaken,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
starring Ralph
starring
Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, sure.
That was
But
it.
also-
that was the one. It was like,
And Steve Vai. I know you were in
Steve,
because of that.
Steve Vai and Ry Cooder. Right?
well, and it wasn't even about Ry. It was Ry Cooder was it was cool. I liked the blues thing, but the Steve I was like, who is that guy? You're like, I think he plays for David Lee Roth, and I'm like,
I want to do that.
Man, I want to do that.
He must have been super
Obsessed.
proud when he got his deal.
Oh,
And-
Jamie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but-
shoot, and it was in the family even. Hannah McEwen. That was
It was
couldn't
really
be cooler.
cool. Yeah, John McEwen's son, Jonathan, and Jamie. Actually, they did a song on when we did our 3rd volume of Will the Circle Be Unbroken. They did a song that Gary Scruggs wrote called "The Lowlands," which is really cool. And
Proud to say I'm on that album too.
yeah, you are. I know. But yeah, and then they got a deal, and it was all kind of, Jamie had already heard all my sort of speeches about the music business, which was basically, well, look, if you love playing music, not like if you want to be a star or get rich doing this, because if that's really your intent, your agenda, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because I think people can sort of cut through that.
I agree.
They get it. They're like, nah,
You have to love it.
insincere, not authentic. Inauthentic, is that a word? Yeah. But Jamie loves it, and I'm really proud of him. I got him through same deal as Ryan. I got him through the Steve Vai years. I was like, see, what happened is when he started playing electric, he had all this ability, and I thought, man, I was like, God, if I had his chops and my taste. Seriously, because I just was not into the metal thing. I mean, I respected Eddie Van Halen, and then I'd never heard of Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah.
And then you heard about it a lot after.
And then Steve Vai, but it was like I couldn't even process that music. And as it turns out, years later, Steve Vai, our keyboard player Bob Carpenter, Steve Vai's kids and his kids his son went to school together, so they became family friends, which is hilarious. How little and weird this world is, But Jamie, so he sort of. Not right to say devolved, because you went from like this extremely fast, involved shredding, if I may say.
it started with the drums, and then it went to Tommy Aldridge, and then it went to somebody handing me an Ozzy Osbourne, Randy Rhoads tribute
Randy
record,
Rhoads.
and then I went,
Rhoads for
listen to the drum solo on this record, and I couldn't help but listen to all the guitar on that record, and
Yeah,
that
you're not gonna miss that.
that went from Randy Rhoads and all of the metal stuff into the Steve Vai and the Frank Zappa and all the weird stuff. And when I moved to Nashville, my dad gave me a cassette of Guitars and Cadillacs, and that's when it was Pete Anderson. I was like, "That's really cool."
That's
and then it
really
went
cool.
down.
Yeah, it
Then the songwriting thing kind of happened, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
singing part didn't sing at all. So it was kind of weird. It was like a complete 180.
It's not the typical route. It's sort of circuitous, I think is a good
But
word.
Ryan and I still will have many
yeah.
a night listening to Yngwie and all of the metal we can conjure up full
Rhoads.
blast
Oh,
in the back
definitely.
lounge. Ask Gary.
Yeah. Well, and this is pretty cool too. They will both pull you guys up, and I've watched so many of both of you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sorry about
me
that.
too.
Our band leader is the one that.
But so much, at like midnight to 3
You're welcome.
on 11, like as loud as it'll possibly go.
That's a lot of Brian too.
That's
but yeah.
Brian.
I've seen those text mid
Call him.
night.
Yeah, those
Brian's
late-
like, text your dad right now, Jamie. Text Jeff.
Because you gotta call
Ryan,
him.
text Steve.
Because you got to
Right
call
now.
Jeff right now.
Do one of your do a Hannah McEwen song.
Yeah, do so. I know a couple of those.
There you go.
You want to do like Fool Around or something?
Yeah, man. What key are you in? Okay.
1, 2, boom. Speed it up. He must be a new love, never seen that guy before.